Have you ever wondered why fruit in Japan is treated like a treasure? Why people will go the extra mile to produce it, gift it, and savor every bite? Today, we're diving into the world of Japanese fruit culture to find out what makes Japanese fruit so special. I'm Matt from the Alive Company, and you're watching EIST, the show about finding excellence in small things. Even though I have been to Japan before and have tried these delicious, delectable fruits, I can't afford to go on a trip right now. What I can do is start from the beginning and find out why these fruits are considered a luxury in the first place. Well, from my research, there are three main factors. Firstly, Japanese land is mostly not suitable for growing fruits. Japan is almost completely mountainous, meaning they don't have the land for growing a high volume of products. To counter this feature of the Japanese landscape, Japanese farmers have to upscale the quality of the fruits themselves, both literally and physically. Furthermore, fruits in Japan were originally sent as gifts. This sentiment dates back to the Edo period, as fruit culture started sometime around then. Since then, this culture of sharing fruit as a gift has grown and kept strong. Imagine it being like giving chocolate for Christmas. This contribution of lack of arable land and culture doesn't even scratch the surface as to why these fruits are considered a luxury. If you walk into a Japanese supermarket as I have, the experience of purchasing a fruit, specifically a luxury fruit, is much different than that in the US. When you look at the packaging of these fruits, you can tell that someone definitely labored over the creation and experience that you're going to get when opening and eating this product. That person that did that, that's definitely a craftsman. Someone who has dedicated probably years, if not decades of their life, trying to make the product that I'm holding in my hand as best as possible. I feel the same way when I'm using a lot of other Japanese products and appliances. This is my Japanese knife. I really love it, and it's one of my favorite tools that I have in my kitchen. And my name's engraved in it. And I watched the person who made the knife engrave the knife for me. It was a crazy experience. And that just goes to show there is a higher standard of quality when it comes to high-end Japanese products. And with that standard comes a price hike, which I'm willing to pay. And so should you. Now listen, I've been talking a lot about why these fruits are considered a luxury, but I really haven't talked about what makes them a luxury. This stuff may seem simple, anything but just at a higher level, right? But there's a whole nother level of understanding that needs to be had when it comes to producing Japanese fruits, specifically strawberries. Now let's take a look at this research from the Japanese Agricultural Exchange Council. This PDF right here hosts a summary of growing processes for Japanese strawberries. And the summary, the thing that's supposed to be short, is over 40 pages long. Now, I have read the entirety of this PDF, and I've linked it at the bottom, but the three biggest pieces of the puzzle that I want you to know when it comes to growing fancy Japanese fruit, specifically strawberries, are having a very, very controlled environment. That means that the strawberries that are being grown have to be grown in a greenhouse. A greenhouse allows for farmers to control the temperature, regulate the humidity, and the light that the strawberries get. This is essential for producing a high quality harvest year round. This ability to harvest year round is super important because from June to November, demand and prices get high. The second thing you need to know about growing fancy Japanese strawberries is pest and disease management. There are so many bugs, bacteria, and parasites just waiting to have a taste of these delicious strawberries. And since the strawberries are so low volume and are super delicate, I mean, you could literally pinch one and you can destroy it. Just a small outbreak of disease can cause a huge loss for farmers. So if you're ever going to handle strawberries at a Japanese farm, make sure you're wearing gloves. The final and maybe most important thing when it comes to growing luxury Japanese strawberries is the selective breeding methods utilized to grow these plants. I mean, you can't grow the best fruits without the best seeds. So farmers use a process of cross-pollination to develop all-season strawberry varieties. And they meticulously prune the leaves, take care of the plants, and just keep a very tight ship running when they're growing fruits. It's almost like a science project rather than a farm. It really depends also on what the farmer is trying to grow, because there are definitely different scales of the quality of strawberry that you want. There are some that are upwards of $300 a strawberry, and there are some that you can just get for $2, at the supermarket. Now that you know about all these difficult and precise strategies needed to farm these strawberries, I bet you're wondering, how can you get your hands on one of these? Now, you don't need a ticket to Japan. What you do need a ticket to is the best place in America, that being New Jersey. Oishii strawberries seem to be the closest thing that I can find to high quality Japanese fruits near me. And these things are grown in Jersey City in New Jersey. For a little bit of background on what these are, I'll let the CEO, Hiroki Koga, take it away.
At Oishii, We want to create a new standard for agriculture. Not only to make agriculture sustainable once again, but doing it deliciously. Combining technology and Japanese growing practices, we grow the world's most perfect fruits. Pack of our strawberries that you just ate, they used to go for $50 per pack 5 years ago. Now, they're $10, available in more than 100 grocery stores on the East Coast. So we came here in 5 years. So you can probably imagine at this pace where we could get to in another 5 years. We might even be cheaper than conventional products.
Now, did you hear that? These strawberries used to be $50 a box. Now it's only $10. Still a little expensive, but trust me, these are the best berries you'll ever try in your life. And if you don't trust me, just hear from all these people on social media, TikTok, YouTube. These things are really popular. Now, Oishii wasn't the first company to sell fruits of this quality in the US, but they are one of the first companies to grow this specific style of fruit using a very specific style of farming, indoor vertical farming. I believe that as a startup company, it's really interesting to see what Oishii has done with the money they've gotten so far as well. They had to have a very direct and specific plan when it came to being able to succeed and thrive in the vertical farming industry. The technology involved in the growing of these little bunches of sugar would take a lot of time to explain, but we can narrow it down to 3 parts again: robotics, agriculture, and machine learning. Let's take a look at the robotics utilized within the facility, which is apparently several football fields long. That's insane. But what's even more insane is the technology that's being used and housed within this facility. This is just a promo video from the official Oishii channel, but if we look at what's happening here, it looks like there's a camera embedded within the arm of this Yaskawa robot. These robots have been retrofitted to complete tasks like pruning and removing the strawberries to deposit them into their respective containers. I'm guessing that not all of the products that Oishii sells are harvested like this, but most likely a good amount of them are, just because of how many strawberries are being grown. Remember, several football fields long and several football fields high. Maybe not a football field high, but there's so much more to say about the technology within this facility. And did you know that in order to grow fruits, specifically berries, anything that essentially has a fruit at the end of it, you need to have bees or something pollinate the fruit? That can be really difficult, because how do you get bees to pollinate something in an artificial area? Bees are really hard to control, and Hiroki talks a little bit about this in his TED Talk, but how do you control bees and how do you get them to do the thing that you need them to do? Well, you have to map out their patterns, and you have to do basically more research on how to get bees to the places they need to be. And I'm not sure what method of sound, a certain type of frequency, or some sort of, they convince the bees with some sort of honey contraption or deal. I don't know how they did it, but pollination must occur. And the fact that they're able to do this and pollinate and have these plants being grown in an artificial facility year round, just like the Japanese ones, is certainly something special. And it also leads to a question. You know, I love technology and I love high quality products, but is it right to go the extra mile when it costs a lot of energy? The practice of Japanese fruit farming can be somewhat unsustainable, as whenever you're making something high quality, there's usually a lot of waste. Think about really fancy restaurants that have to go and process through thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of fruits per year, pruning and cutting and getting rid of all the excess because they don't need it. They just need that one specific piece of the fruit. That can be a little unsustainable. And this is especially a problem in Japan. This article from Hiroko Tabuchi of the New York Times details a little bit about some of the major issues that come with farming summertime delights such as strawberries year-round. For Japanese farmers who don't have facilities the size of an airplane hangar, they need to keep their greenhouses warm with generators and gas. There is a giant climate burden that comes with this. You have to keep the lights on and the heat on year-round, and that can get pretty costly both for the farmer and for the environment. Now, there are solutions for this. Farmers have developed methods of using water to insulate the surrounding of the greenhouse so that temperature stays more consistent, and there's definitely seems to be a push towards a more sustainable method of agriculture. Remember Oishii's facility? That place runs off of hundreds of solar-powered panels, so people are definitely trying their best. What are my opinions on all this? I believe that Japanese fruits most definitely have an effect on the environment. And whenever you're creating something that's high quality, there's always going to be some sort of waste produced. I believe that this is an okay result because guess what? Some people want high quality and luxury products, and as long as you're willing to pay for them, that's okay. It's a free market. Do I believe that there's probably a better solution and probably a better way to enhance the entire farming and agriculture system within the US? Yes, definitely. But do I think that focusing on only the highest quality of fruits and services is the way to solve that problem? No, I don't think so. Remember, most people struggle to afford groceries nowadays, and that's just something that I think kind of doesn't get to the head of people. Like, yes, I understand that you want to keep things sustainable, right? But what about the majority of the people who can't afford things? Like, why are you worrying about a really expensive product that only some people can afford when products that everybody should be able to afford are skyrocketing due to inflation and lack of supplies and the supply chain just being all messed up? High quality goods and high quality services have a place in this world. If you can afford them and if you want them, you can definitely go get them. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't really take time just to appreciate how difficult it is to take something from a farm to a grocery to our plate. And the entire system needs to have so many checks and balances in place just so we can ensure that the food that we're ingesting is not only safe, but delicious. Japanese fruits take this to a whole nother level. I mean, there's so much extra care and excellence put into every small detail when it comes to this product. And for that, we should be thankful. The best way to live a good life is to find excellence in the small things. And I think Japanese products really do that well. That's why I own and have a lot of Japanese products. I think that in the future, if you really want to create something amazing, it's good to look at the Japanese mindset of Kaizen or continuous self-improvement to see how you can use some of the frameworks of their knowledge in order to put towards your life or the things that you're making so that you can reach the same level of success that they do. Now, if I was to ever go back to Japan, the first thing I'm grabbing is a fruit. But what are you grabbing? Do you like Japan? Are there products in Japan that you want me to talk about? Let me know in the comments down below. This is Matt from the Live Company with EIST. I hope you learned something and have a nice day. Peace.